nutrition should be fairly boring. And even the next level, most of your daily disciplines, most of your habits in general, on paper, at least from outside eyes, should look fairly boring because it's pretty much the same and pretty consistent. But listen, if boring means taking my shirt off at the beach and being in shape while there's a bunch of fucking whales waddling around, or it means being in shape all year round, 12 months out of the fucking year. Someone asked me one time, like, so how many months of the year do you try to stay in shape? I was like, is this a trick question or are you just a fucking idiot? What's up, freaks? Welcome to another episode of the Steve Eckert Show podcast. And today is going to be a boring ass episode. If it's not usually boring enough, just wait till today. It's going to be fucking boring. And I'm kind of serious about that because we're going to be talking about nutrition. Now, there's not that much fun and excitement when I talk about nutrition. In fact, your nutrition should be fairly boring. And even the next level, most of your daily disciplines, most of your habits in general, on paper, at least from outside eyes, should look fairly boring because it's pretty much the same and pretty consistent. But listen, if boring means taking my shirt off at the beach and being in shape while there's a bunch of fucking whales waddling around, then what's wrong? Cameraman doesn't like my usage of words. Anyway, or it means being in shape all year round, 12 months out of the fucking year. Someone asked me one time, like, so how many months of the year do you try to stay in shape? I was like, is this a trick question or are you just a fucking idiot? Because I try to stay in shape 12 years out of the fucking month. Or I'm an idiot now. 12 months out of the year. 12 years out of the month, as I'm calling someone else an idiot. I never said I was the freaking sharpest one in the drawer. But I stay in shape all year round. I stay under 10% body fat literally for over 2 decades, 25 years straight from following this simple, boring nutrition. Now, you have a nutritionist, you have doctors, go whatever. Don't come here and take what I'm saying as law. This is just basic ideas and thoughts and concepts. It's not even telling you necessarily how to eat or what to eat. It's just what I call educational eating. It's what I call having nutritional discipline. Because listen, all diets work and all diets fucking suck. Because for the most part, most diets require you to have discipline. They require you to eat pretty much healthy foods. They have some kind of restrictions of shitty foods. They have some kind of tracking or restrictions on calories so you don't overdo it. So all those require discipline. So if you have the discipline to follow any one of those parameters, it's going to make the diet work. If you don't have the discipline to follow those parameters, it's going to make the diet suck. And then because you had no fucking discipline and consistency, you did the diet and someone asked, oh, hey, how's that freaking diet going? And you're like, oh, it sucked. It didn't work. I gained freaking 4 pounds on it. That's because your lazy ass didn't have any fucking discipline. That's all it came down to. It's just all you need when it comes to nutrition is the diet of discipline. You don't need to be on any diet. I've literally never been on a diet in my life, a specific whatever, keto or starvation or container diet. This one person told me about this diet. They were on the container diet, that you had different containers for different meals throughout the day. And as long as your food fit in the container, you were good. So some of them were smaller, bigger, depending on what part of the day it was. Like, what a stupid fucking diet. Like, you could just put a bunch of cocaine in one of those containers and you'll be all fucking high all day. You'll probably lose weight. So you'll be like a fucking crackhead like Pookie. But container diet. You don't need any fucking diet. You just need to have basic education on what you're putting in your body. You need to have just nutritional discipline, the diet of discipline, and that's all you freaking need when it comes down to it. Because listen, you've been eating probably, and this is if you just want to get in better shape or lose weight, especially. Get rid of some of that man fat that's on you, them bitch tits or the love handles, or you want those 6-pack abs for the first time in your freaking life. Now, regardless of what age you are, it is still pretty possible. Of course, it's harder, and everything we're saying gets harder as you get up each decade in life as a man, 30, 40, 50, 60. Of course, it gets harder. And we're also assuming you're doing this on your own without any special sauces and secret needles in your ass or any of this other stuff. That's up to you. That's up to you and your doctor and whatever else you do, whatever. But we're talking about daily discipline, nutritional discipline, getting in the best shape of your life and staying in the best shape of your life day after day, year after year, fucking decade after decade. Because listen, you've been eating for fun, for taste, for flavor, for boredom. You've been eating because you're alone, and then you eat because you're with people. So you find every fucking excuse to eat bullshit and lard and fat ass shit and garbage and trash you shouldn't be eating. You have every excuse why you do. I'm an emotional eater. All right, motherfucker, be an emotional uneater then. How about that? Like, what the fuck? Quit with these bullshit labels and these excuses that you make about why you eat the bullshit you eat when you know your fat ass ain't supposed to be eating them. And yeah, that should sting a little bit, and I hope it does if it fits. But you've been eating for flavor and loneliness and taste and for socializing long enough. And the same thing with drinking. There's a whole nother separate episode on alcohol. Go back and check it out on YouTube. A whole separate on alcohol about alcohol is just a weakness. There's no upside to it. We're not even going to get into that here because there's an entire another episode on it. But it's the same thing. You've been eating long enough for those bullshit reasons. It's time to start eating for your goals, for your future, for your kids, for your future grandkids, for your energy, for your lifestyle, for fuel. That's what you're eating for optimization, for performance, for training. So you can be a badass motherfucker. Start eating for those damn abs. That's what you need to start thinking. So let's break it down to the boring shit. And we're not going to go too nerdy, and we're just going to keep it very simple and think about, all right, there's nowadays all the coaches out there, the macro coaches. They got macro coaches now. To tell you what your macro should be, it's not that fucking hard. You could literally Google it in 2 seconds. We're not going to have any breakthroughs in science here today, but let me just give you a basic overall foundation. If you're looking to lose weight or stay in great shape, if you just stay somewhere around, and there's different parameters and give and take from it, but just somewhere around 50% of your calories coming from protein, you're going to be good. And then that remaining 50% split somewhere around 25% of carbs and fat, somewhere around there, you're going to be good. As if your protein is more than your carbs and your fat combined, in general, around that ballpark, you're going to be good. Now, if your protein went down to 45% and your carbs went up to 30% or 35% and your fat went to 20% instead of 25, give and take here and there, that doesn't fucking really matter too much. It's just if you're somewhere around that ballpark, that is how literally I stay fit and energetic and keep lean muscle and have abs all year round for fucking 25 years without using any drugs or steroids or hormones or anything else. It's simply that. It's a fairly high level of protein, a moderate level of the right type of energy type carbs, and the small to moderate amount of the good type of fat. And that's it. Little tweaks here and there, depending on if I know I'm going to do a hard training day, I might add some more carbs into there, or I know it's a 24-hour workout that we're doing, or you're going on a 15-mile run. You're going to change that day to day. You're going to ramp it up or ramp it down. It's going to go up and down, just like your training goes up and down. You're going to let your fuel match the work you're going to do, match the type of day you're going to have, the type of training you're doing that day. Like when I know it's going to be a hard, long, crazy lifting day we have with long circuits, we're going to do some cardio after and maybe do some boxing and some grappling after, and it's going to be a few hours. I'll have a little extra oatmeal with a banana thrown in and some blueberries so the carbs are up there a little bit, maybe a couple spoons of peanut butter before that. But when I'm looking to lean out and it's not a crazy training day like that, I'm not going to have the oatmeal. I'm going to have something else, some egg whites, or I'm going to skip the peanut butter and maybe just have a half a banana or just a half a serving of blueberries instead of a full banana and a whole cup and a half of blueberries where you're overdoing it. You're eating according to what you need. That's why you're eating for the fuel. And then you have to decide, all right, am I looking for a look or am I looking for performance? And there's phases where you might be whatever your goals are, you might be going for a look. There's nothing wrong with wanting to look fucking good and being fit and lean and ripped and fucking jacked, like actually looking like you go to the gym. There's nothing worse than those motherfuckers that go to the gym every day for years and they look like they don't go to the gym. You'd be shocked when they say they go to the gym every day. Like, what are you doing, motherfucker? What are you eating? How are you training? Get more boring, motherfucker. Get boring, like we're talking about here with this nutritional discipline and educational eating. Boring is the way. Boring is the key when it comes to your discipline, when it comes to your training, when it comes to your nutrition. And get over, I got bored. I hit a plateau. Motherfucker, you didn't hit a plateau. You just got motherfucking lazy. You just had a lapse in your discipline. You didn't hit a plateau. Plateaus don't exist for the most part. Plateaus don't exist. And that's the simple, basic, bare bones of it right there, is they don't exist. Like, you know what you should and shouldn't eat. When you're putting the double bacon McWhopper with cheese and the large fries, the supersized fries, along with your fucking Diet Coke, you know you shouldn't be eating that shit. Or your little finger licking good KFC, fucking greasy ass chicken, grease dripping off your fucking elbows with some buttery ass mashed potatoes. It's basically a bowl of butter with a couple of little sprinkles of potato on it. You know you shouldn't be eating that shit. You know it. And big parts of all this is also your meal timing. Of course, throughout the week, you're eating according to how you're training. But also even during the day, the what you're eating at different times, depending on when your training is, when you're waking up, when you're going to sleep, that'll determine when you have more carbs, when you have more protein. Like nighttime, it's you really don't want to go to sleep on eating much, if anything. If you do, it should be protein. You don't want to go to sleep on carbs and fat. If you go to sleep with some protein at the end, all right, a little bit better, but you still have to digest that. So have a window of when you know you need to not be eating. Have a cutoff time when you're going to stop eating, when you're going to stop drinking. Drinking meaning water. Stop drinking alcohol. If you haven't already, stop today, motherfucker. You shouldn't be drinking. Also, supplementation. What supplements you take? What vitamins you taking? What are you doing to supplement the food? Supplements are not a replacement for food and for nutrition and for nutrients and for antioxidants and to boost your immune system. They are a supplement to an already sound quality foundation of nutrients and nutrition and food. And we could do a whole separate episode. We're not going to go into supplements here. We can do a whole separate episode on that. My main basics, creatine and glutamine. That's like the foundation of my supplements. And you want to add in some other stuff. There's maybe vitamin C and basic vitamins, but vitamin C is that powerhouse. And there's a couple other ones, A, C, magnesium, zinc, all that stuff. But the basics, when it comes to actual supplements, besides just the basic vitamins, creatine and glutamine. I have literally had creatine and glutamine pretty much twice a day, pretty much 7 days a week for over 20 years. So look, I'm fairly normal. So if you want to be all fucked up in the head like me, take creatine and glutamine. Again, I'm just telling you what I do. You decide what you want to do. You go to your doctor. You do whatever the fuck works for you. You figure that shit out. I'm just giving you some information. Just telling you what I do. Take with that information what you want to do. So when it comes to this stuff, let's think about a nutritional timeline. Like when you wake up, you think about when you wake up, when you go to sleep, and plug out where your meals are in there, what type of meals they are, how many calories you're getting in it. We do this in a full in-person workshop, which we're going to be doing also in the next couple months. We're actually going to do this with you, real time, in person for free in a free workshop on going over your nutritional discipline and helping you with this stuff. But think about when you're eating and your metabolism. Let's say your basic metabolism is right here, this straight line. And again, this works better when I'm drawing it out. But if you're eating too much at one time, like this massive breakfast or massive dinner, it goes above what your body can use for fuel. So the rest, whatever that excess is, it's going to store, and it's going to, for the most part, store it just as fat. It's going to store, just going to hold on to it because it can't use that amount for fuel. It can only use so much for fuel. So when you go over that excess, it's going to freaking slow your metabolism down and store it, which then is going to make you full, which means you probably don't eat, which your metabolism dips down. Your metabolism goes in this big wave throughout the day, which you don't want it to be doing. For me, the consistency that lasts for the long game, yeah, there's, again, all these different diets at work and what's it called? The intermittent fasting and all these different things and ketos and whatever else, the zone diets and the containers and all this other shit. Not a diet. But I simply, myself, now for almost over 25 years. And for tens of thousands, probably if you add online, hundreds of thousands of clients, is eating small meals every 2 to 3 hours, 5 to 6 meals a day, every 2 to 3 hours that you're awake, 5 to 6 meals a day, all protein packed, minimum 30 grams of protein pretty much in each, depending on what your proteins you need. Because I said, remember, 50% of your calories come from protein. Again, this is not, there's no hard rule to it. Somewhere around there, every meal packed with protein and you're good. It's simple. It's not that fucking hard. There's no coaching that you need when it comes to it's just, you need to be fucking disciplined and stop bullshitting and stop making excuses and stop saying, oh, I fell off the train. No, you just didn't have fucking discipline. You were being a weak fucking soft human, making excuses and validating your bullshit lack of discipline. That's all you were doing. There's no plateau. There's no falling off the train. There's no slipping off. You didn't slip. You made a conscious decision to eat shit, to not stick to the plan, to choose shit over quality. That's what you did. That's your plateau that you're on. So it's simple. And another problem is the meal at the end of the night. Your last meal, your dinner. People make it way too much. So it's your latest meal of the day, the closest to the time you're about to go to sleep. When you go to sleep, your metabolism is the slowest. You're half dead. Your metabolism is super slow when you're sleeping. So if you eat your largest meal of the day at the closest time to when you're about to go to sleep, so now you have the most calories you have to process, over the line and be used for fuel, and you're not going to go burn them too much because you're not going to be going to do training right before you go to sleep or whatever else. The day is done. So you have to, and probably the worst food choices because your discipline and your willpower has faded, and it's probably the worst thing you could do is have this big meal, the biggest meal of the day, with probably the worst choices of the day at the time of day when your metabolism is about to be the slowest. And then you wake up in the morning and you're not that hungry and you don't even have a breakfast for several hours after you wake up or even until after you work out because you're like, oh, I'm just not hungry. Of course you're not, because your fat ass ate this massive, nasty meal so late to the when you went to sleep, and it just jacks up your metabolism, screws your metabolism. It's all out of whack going into the next day. Same with your sleep. If your sleep is off, your morning routine, all that stuff, it's all connected. The night before dictates what happens the next morning. So then you wait throughout the morning until the afternoon, till lunchtime, and then by then you're re-starving again because you're running around all hectic and crazy like a freaking gerbil on a wheel because you're not in control and you're losing your discipline, and you have this massive lunch again, and you go through this up and down with your metabolism and making poor food choices because then you're hungrier than you should be instead of just keeping that fire burning the way it should be. Think of you had a fireplace burning in your house, and first thing in the morning, you threw in 15 books. Those 15 books are going to fizzle out and burn in like 2 to 3 hours. You're going to have to throw in another bunch of books, get the fire started again. It's going to be completely dead. But imagine if you took those same 15 books and just threw in 2 to 3 books every couple hours into that fire. You're going to have a nice medium, small to medium sized flame burning semi-evenly up and down throughout the day. That's the way you want to think about your metabolism. Now, we're not going too sciencey or geeky, and I'm sure the nerds are going to could say, oh, well, this and that, and technically, blah, 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 whatever. I'm giving you what actually works in the real world for real people for over 2 decades for myself and literally tens of thousands of clients that have used this type of it's just nutritional discipline. This isn't a diet. Because again, you have spent enough time eating for flavor, eating for fun, eating because you're alone, eating because you're depressed, eating because you're with other people, eating because you're socializing. It's time to eat for fuel. It's time to eat for goals, for your lifestyle. It's time to eat for your future, for your kids, for your grandchildren that are in the future. It's time to eat for lifestyle, for freaking life. That's what we're talking about here. So enough of the bullshit, enough of the plateaus, enough of the damn excuses. Have some freaking nutritional discipline. And keep it steady throughout the day. Keep the fire burning. And they call breakfast is called breakfast because you're breaking the fast. You're literally fasting when you're sleeping because that's when your metabolism is the slowest. You're in a fast when you're sleeping. So yeah, your breakfast is pretty important. But I would say, to me, breakfast is not the most important meal of the day. To me, your post-workout meal and refueling, like when we're done with the workout, we're just in the car, we're like, calories, we need calories, we need calories. We get home and we have a strong, high protein post-workout meal with some carbs to replenish the carbs that we burned in the hours worth of intense training. So if anything, I'd say the post-workout meal, yeah, it's probably the most important. After that, then maybe your breakfast, your first meal, how you kickstart the day, how you get that ball rolling, get that fire burning throughout the day is probably next. And before that, probably your pre-workout meal. That meal before, that last meal is pretty important also because it has to be important as in the fact that it's not too much and not shitty food that it's going to just get stored as just pure blubber and fat while you're going to sleep. So think about that metabolism. Think about that basics. Then start thinking about the food you're eating, the food choices. Like you should know anything you're eating, you should know how much protein is it? Well, first, how many calories, how much protein, how much carbs, how much fat, how much sugar. You can go deeper into other stuff if you want to, sodium, potassium, all that, but know the basics. Like understand what you're eating, what shit you're putting into your freaking body. Like understand the numbers. Know that 1 gram of protein equals 4 calories. 1 gram of carbs equals 4 calories. 1 gram of fat is 9 calories. Know that difference. That 1 gram of fat is more than double the calories than a gram of protein or carbs. Get that, like understand that when you're looking at labels. Understand how to read a label, how to look at the ingredients and stay away from trash ingredients and artificial colors. Me and the kids did an episode of Breaking the Cycle where we talked about artificial colors. Check out the studies on artificial colors, that the red, yellow, 40 and Lake, this and that. It's in Gatorade. It's in a lot of pre-workouts. It's even in some vitamins. It's in medicines. It's everywhere. Stay away from that shit. Like learn to read, make it a habit. Like our kids, when they go somewhere to someone else's house, the first thing that someone gives them some food, they say, "Are you allowed to have this?" They don't have to call and ask. They'll flip it around. They know how to read a fucking label. They know how to see, is this just pure trash? What are the ingredients? How much carbs and fat and sugar is in this? No, I'll pass. Thank you. Like learn to read the labels and decide if it's conducive to the day and the food and track your shit. MyFitnessPal, it's a free app. You know about this stuff by now, but you don't do it. You lose consistency. Also realize what foods are kind of slowing you down or killing your results a little bit. Like you think, oh, rice. I know that rice is supposed to be a good food. I should eat the brown rice and this and that. Yeah, to an extent. When you need to add carbs and you're not getting enough carbs, sure, add rice. Or when you need extra carbs for those hard training days, add a little rice. Go ahead. But just know, 1 cup of rice is 44 grams of carbs. 1 cup is like that freaking big. And I've seen you motherfuckers in the restaurants say, no one having 1 cup of rice. You're having a motherfucking mountain of rice. That's like 3 or 4 cups. Which is 44 grams of carbs and like 3 or 4 grams of protein. So it's just all carbs in 1 cup and you're having 3 or 4 of that. And that's just your side dish to your steak, which is a cow, which is fucking fat. And then you're having your glass of wine because you're supposed to have resveratrol because it's good for your heart because some alcoholic doctor told you to have that shit. And then you say, I'm eating so healthy. I don't know why. I'm still fucking fat and I'm afraid to take my shirt off at the beach. Learn what you're eating in your body. Is brown rice bad for you? Not necessarily. When you need some extra carbs or pasta, yeah, limit your freaking pasta. Limit your damn breads. You know this shit. Limit your dairy. The only dairy I really eat is, not even dairy, is 30 calorie almond milk. Once in a while, I get my protein shake and Greek yogurt. And it's usually Oikos 000 or Oikos Pro. And we're talking 20 grams of protein in an Oikos Pro yogurt and only how many carbs? 8? 7? 7 grams of carbs, 6 or 7 grams of carbs, I guess, depending on the flavor. And fat is like 2.5. If you're getting the Pro with 20 grams of protein, or you can get the Oikos 000, has 0 fat, a couple more grams of carbs, like 8 or 9 or something, or not even, and 15 grams of protein, so it has a little more sugar, depending on the day, depending on the workout. I'll decide, am I having the Oikos Pro or Oikos 000? Do I want a little more fat or a little more carbs? Do I want a little more protein, or what do I need to add into this day? Limit your beef. Limit and I'm not saying you can't have any, but limit it. Even fruits. Fruits can be a killer. Yes, you need to have your fruits. You should be eating shitloads of fruits and vegetables. Go all in on vegetables. Have you ever heard of someone getting fat off eating too much broccoli? I don't think so. Or fat off eating too much grilled chicken or egg whites? Hell no. Go all in on that shit. Fish, get your proteins from fish, from egg whites, from chicken. Limit the beef. You don't eat it every freaking day. I know there's the carnivore diets and all this other stuff, but those are disciplined people. Don't forget the thing we said in the beginning. Every diet works, every diet doesn't work. You need just a diet of discipline in general it's going to slow you down. There's a much higher fat percentage in most beefs. Yeah, there's some leaner beefs and this and that. Of course, we could talk about this all day. But in general, if you're having beef every day, what animals the beef coming from? A cow. So I want to ask you this. You ever been driving by a farm and you're looking out the window and you see a whole bunch of cows? You're like, damn, look at those cows. Look at that physique in those cows. I really want to look like those cows. Hell no, they're so fat. They are so fat and lazy. They sleep standing up. They're too lazy to fucking lay down and they can't get their fat asses up in the morning. They sleep standing up. There's some motherfuckers out in the country do cow tipping. And that's what you're going to eat as like what you're eating. You are becoming what you eat, literally. Think about it. If I go and I eat chicken a lot. It's probably why right here, you watch me and I'm moving around like a chicken, like my head bucking around all over the place. I eat a lot of chicken, a lot of fucking eggs. Go to fish. Just stay away from the high fat fish. Know what kind of fish. Know what you're eating. Just look up the numbers. Get into it. Figure out what you're eating, what you should be eating more of, what you should be avoiding. It's just educational eating, nutritional discipline. And now nutrition, when you're coming up with your results, we're talking about this, is just one piece of the puzzle. I know people say, nutrition is 90% of the battle or 80%, whatever you want to call it. It's one of the three components. There's your strength training, there's your endurance training, and there's your fuel. Those are the three components we talk about in the IFFF, which is the Infinite Freak Fitness Formula, which is the last workout program you'll ever need. And those are the three pillars. It's even what our logo is based off of. It's like a results triangle that and you could say the percentages, it's arbitrary, it doesn't freaking matter, but it's strength, endurance, and fuel. The fuel meaning your nutrition. What are you fueling yourself with? And all of that needs to be encompassed by a positive freaking growth mindset, a positive mindset, because that's where it all freaking starts. This is what it takes. The strength training, the endurance cardio conditioning training, and the fuel nutrition component. All three of them are needed, surrounded by a solid mindset. That's what you need to be thinking about in your nutrition. And we could go on and on, the benefits of nutrition. You already know all this shit. You're going to look better. You're going to feel better. Your clothes are going to fit better. You're going to be in the best shape of your life. All this stuff. If you have that triangle with the circle of the mindset around it, you're going to be in a better mood. And I guarantee you start doing this kind of stuff, you're making more money because you have more energy. You have a positive attitude, which lets you have better output, more productivity, better time management. All these things happen when you start eating better and stop eating shit and start taking better care of yourself. Having this nutritional discipline. Like you're literally, the way I see it when I'm eating healthy is I'm eating to create a bigger impact, to be a better role model of my kids, to make more money. That this way of living, having this discipline is the foundation and going to give me the energy to be able to do what I have to do to provide for my family, to make the money I need to be making, be a role model. That's the way I see it. That's how deep you need to see it. And yeah, these numbers that were talked about the macros, they could change depending on, like when we have a photo shoot come up. I have a very, very strict protocol for when I have a photo shoot, when I'm just looking to get super lean within just a few weeks. And then I have a 10-day breakdown of the last 10 days right before a photo shoot. So if you want that information, that breakdown, I'll give you the specifics of how to break it down to the calorie, talking about sodium and hydration to get freaking ripped. The last photo shoot I did, I think it was like 3.1% body fat for that photo shoot. Do I maintain that all year round? No, but I'm under 10 all year round. I'll tell you that. And within 21 days, I'll get to 3%. Like that by following what we're talking about here today and that extra protocol for the photo shoot. If you want that photo shoot, how to get lean and extra ripped in this 10-day protocol, send me a DM or just comment below and I will send that into your inbox. We don't have time to go into the details and specifics here. It's easier just to write it out and break it down for you. So if you want that, just send me a DM. That's all also part of the IFFF, the Infinite Freak Fitness Formula, where we have a separate private online community where we discuss fitness and nutrition and all this stuff we're talking about, depending on your goals or what phase you're going into, what you're training for, what equipment you need, and what food you have available to you. And your nutrition is a simple thing of being fucking boring, having nutritional discipline, having educational eating, and stop making freaking excuses. That's what this is all about. So just put down below if you want some information on the IFFF, the Infinite Freak Fitness Formula, the last workout program you will ever need, or if you just want my protocol for the photo shoot, just to get lean and ripped in those last 10-day protocol right before a photo shoot, send me that and I guarantee you will look the best you ever freaking looked for that damn photo shoot or whatever it is. So send me that down below. Put the links down below. What parts of these resonate with you? What else do you add into your own nutrition protocol that works for you? What supplements you're using? Put all that down there in the comments below. Let's talk about it. I want to hear what works for you, and I could even try it out. We can mix in, but we wanted to keep it very simple, very basic, because it's not that fucking hard. It just requires you to make the decision of discipline, to be on the diet of discipline with educational eating, nutritional discipline. This is what it takes. Follow this stuff, and I guarantee you get in the best shape of your life and stay in the best shape of your life for the rest of your life. Put the comments down below. Make sure you like, subscribe, and share this video. I will see you next time on the Steve Eckert Show. And in case no one told you yet today, you are fucking awesome. No excuses.